Welcome to Mask Fest!
Boy.
This stuff's great.
This is where you find like super amazing stuff, particularly in the mask world.
Okay, Marsha. Huge fans. We just came in with
All right, awesome. Thank you.
It is. Thank you.
Wow, so that's you
In 1984, I was 13 years old. Yeah. And I wanted distortion stuff more than anything, and my mother would not let me have the Nightmare series. I wanted that more than anything, but thanks to EA, Eric Austin, who runs Mask Fest, years ago during the HMA days, he helped me find every one of those masks, so I now have the complete Nightmare series.
It's amazing. Oh, I'm sorry. What inspired this creation, Jordu?
I drew that design back in 1993, and I've always wanted to make it into a big mask, so it was time.
This stuff, I had a lot of work in that. It's a 4-piece fiberglass mold.
Four-piece fiberglass mold.
Yeah. It almost has to be, because you can't do 4 pieces in plaster very well. It breaks and stuff.
Remember the eye thing I was doing?
As they are.
Just kind of a lot of experimentation, wasting money, making money, back and forth.
Yeah. So how are you moving that? Show me.
So it's 2 syringes, and that's for the bladders to make the skin bubble. And then these 2 syringes are hooked up to another set of syringes inside the head. So they move the air back and forth. It's just basically a pneumatic valve situation, pistons that drive the air. I've been making stuff since I was 10. And this is my first booth this year at Mask Fest. A lot of that, Tom Savini's book, I learned a lot of stuff. Watching a lot of old behind-the-scene Rick Baker stuff. That was how I found out, like, doing the head, is watching a lot of Rick Baker videos and seeing these syringes, and then I had to figure out what they actually do.
Like, what's that company? Yeah, what's that company? Like Retro Gogo? Like one of those that made a whole bunch of cool looking ones. Yeah, Retro Gogo. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Is that real close? Is that how you did that?
Anything horror related, since a kid watching movies, The Beast Within from 1982, we get to watch that movie. We, anything creature. And I used to be deathly afraid of monsters when I was a kid. I loved them and I loved drawing them, but I was deathly afraid of them. But as you get better, you just start sculpting, and then I see masks, and I'm like, dude, I gotta make it. So, and that kind of like leads you to it, that it's a love-hate relationship with like the fear and then the wanting to create something.
Awesome, guys. I appreciate that.
Like practicing the French. And he's like a professional
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's really into this stuff. He should be at this show. He would love it.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we gotta go see Monster Resurrection. It was doing great in the ratings. Yeah. Well, thank you.
CFX Masks just painted. I guess I'm just looking at you most of my masks. We have what we call one size fits most. These masks do stretch. I mean, these guys stretch, so they're designed to stretch to form fit over your head. We have
I think it would be super creepy just flesh color. When it merged, when they see those photoshops and it's like,
we've done one in like this with black. Okay, so he
Well, we got stopped by Monster.
We got a lot of new stuff here, so let's go over it. Right here, I got one of my new lines.
yeah.
It's Golden Era Ghouls. It's we got John Astin, Stan Laurel, Edward G. Robinson here. We're gonna kind of evolve on this line, so we're gonna do more like classic Hollywood characters. Right here, we got our gore line over here, really inspired by Distortions. We got Arg over here, Gore Master. He's a time traveling barbarian. Right over here, we got Blah. He's just all ripped up, all teared up. Thank you.
I actually really love these guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very, very
Yeah.
clever.
I've been doing it for about 6 years now, yeah.
And you're how old?
16 years old.
So since you were 10.
Since I was 10 years
That's
old,
crazy.
yeah, I've been doing this for like a lot of my life. Yeah, and I learned from these guys right here from their Monster Lab. That's how I figured this whole thing out, was from them. So watch their Monster Labs. It's amazing,
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah.
Mass Fest 2024.
Did you get started in mask making?
Mask making. I was. There were no masks that I wanted available except for what he was making, but there was movies that I wanted, so I would try to find something close enough and kind of customize it. But then I learned that you could actually sculpt.
Yeah.
These were sculpted out of clay, and molds were made, and then I just, started calling Ed and bugging him, and he was always nice to me. So, like people ask me why I make masks. Well, first I love masks.
Yes.
But the answer I give them now is it's something that I could do by myself.
Yeah.
That I could learn every step. I didn't need a factory. I didn't need any special machinery. And I always try to tell other people, you can do this too.
Yeah.
Oh, this show's amazing. It's just the talent is just really risen. Like, because I think when people come here, they get really inspired to go home and create.
And they see the best of the best, and so they're up in their game, and then they come back and everybody's up their game, and it just
awesome. Yeah. So, what got you into making monsters and creatures, or what aspect of it do you currently?
Well, we're prosthetic artists out of Toronto, and this is kind of my hobby. So a lot of the work we do professionally, we're under designs that are already made for us, so we have to follow the designs. But this stuff I can just do on my own. So yeah, just happy to be here. Mass Fest has been a passion of ours for probably the last 5-6 years.
When did you start in special effects and prosthetics?
Oh my God, our first show was Goosebumps, so 25 years ago. So yeah, we're about 25, 30 years in the business now.
Titles, you got Handmaid's Tale, Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, this is a clicker. So we were lucky enough to work on The Last of Us with Barry Gower, and we were just makeup artists for that show. But when I saw the stuff they were making, I'm instantly like, oh, I need to sculpt one of these. It looks so much fun. So yeah, sculpted it, painted it. This is a resin bust here.
The little
veining, yeah, thank you. Gave him some blood. Do a little epoxy on the teeth.
Well, wait, look at that. So the vein work, how did you do that on the eyes?
Oh, a brush in Illustrator. It's like an alcohol paint. So I just, hand paint them in.
Your partner was just saying how detailed and meticulous you are.
If you are to touch the tongue there, it's really soft. And it's all silicone, 4 seal eyes. So it's zombie shot in the cheek, and as you spin them around, there's the exit wound.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so just trying to keep it all soft and different densities of silicone. The base is all nice and hard. Acrylic teeth.
Wow. And then this one here, where does this idea come
This
from?
is from The Fly. I don't know if you've ever seen The Fly, but Jeff Goldblum, he regurgitates onto the food and sucks it back up because he's turning into a fly. So this is a scene from that where he actually picks up the donut, regurgitates before he sucks it back up. So that's an actual scene of that. A lot of thin washes of different colors on the silicone. Silicone's a little trickier to paint because, it's a little toxic and actually is going off as you're painting it. So you got to be kind of quick, know what you want. Yeah. And just doing the drool, you to put that in once, you want to get all the drool really nice and perfect, right? So I made a little resin face of him so I could practice getting it really nice. So it's all timing. As the silicone is starting to go off, you want to get those drips. So you time it as you're mixing it up, getting it ready to go off, and then time it so it's just starting to drip and then it goes off.
It's the culprit.
Yeah,
it's the little fly.
He started the whole damn thing. Funhouse, 1980s horror movie. One of my all-time favorites. So I actually wanted to make this one for myself, but a lot of other people liked it, so I started making some more.
I'm an illustrator by trade. I really love illustration, so I was really into Spawn, Ren and Stimpy. I mean, anything weird sci-fi. I'm into like the interdimensional alien kind of aspect of things. So I don't know. I try to get gnarly. I get caught up in details. So really, like a lot of like VR sculpting and stuff too. So, and I do resin printing from those. And when I designed some of these masks, I was like, I want something that I can have interchangeable popping eyeball things, and I can easily kind of produce them with the resin printer. So that's what this is. I've made some other ones that have like weird kind of rat fink eyes, but yeah, retro go. All right.
Tony pulled these out, or he pulled out the original hair from the 70s, so these pieces are the last ones just for Mask Fest.
Those three masks right there are the last of their old hair from the 70s and 80s. That is it. Like the old bat mask here, that's one of my favorite pieces from the old days. I tell my daughter I would have a fang face mask in my book bag at all times. You know, all summer, all spring, and I would never go to school without a fang face stuffed in my book bag. Bill Weisstrom was like a sculpting, maniac, just pumping out one after another, countless designs, and they're all classics now. Chicago-based company, and they're still doing it now. Zagone, the Zagone family. They changed the name, of course, but still the same old, good old molds are there, and they're digging them out, making these beautiful collector's edition, like the Sentinel here. That was always a really rare be-something mask, and now you can buy a brand new one.
These are all sculpted by Pete from the Devil's Workshop.
What's up, guys?
I'm explaining to him what this table is.
Cool. But don't you still have to deal with shrinkage when you do that?
If you put the foam in pretty much immediately before the latex has a chance to really do the shrinking, I also would sculpt a little larger to compensate for that too.
That's a sculpture by Mark Alfrey, and we sell a limited number of those. This one has been altered a little bit. This isn't in the traditional pose. This is changed up a bit. I wanted to make him look a little bit more aggressive, so the arms are stretched out more. These are all hand painted. Use automotive paints. I make the creature set, the latex creature set. Uncle Gilbert. That's the original pair of creature feet.
Where's that?
Autographed by Rico Browning from the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Rico Browning signed that set there. So yeah, I've been making masks and monsters for 45 years. As a matter of fact, I still sculpt on the same table I sculpted on when I was 14. Do all my work on the same one. So.
Exactly. What are the...
Do you remember when I had a girlfriend who bought me, it might have been for my birthday, bought me a Nightmare 2? It was the same girlfriend I still have.
Oh, that's amazing.
That was Laura.
He knew the way to his heart was not through his stomach.
Oh, yeah.
It was through Monsters.
Through Monsters.
So you've been making masks since early 80s?
84, I think.
Wow.
84, I think, was the first. And before that, I had tried like a few times when I was a kid. And she has
I
a
have
little.
sculpted a few.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
But
You're like the queen of hair, though, right? That's your biggest claim to fame, right? Yeah.
You do hair work like amazing.
Yes.
inserted.
Yeah, well, of course I like werewolves a lot because they get a lot of hair.
This
Henry Alvarez.
Henry Alvarez.
Hello, good. How are you?
Good.
Are some of these new for this year? Or?
Well, this is my first time here, so pretty much, yeah, all new.
What materials do you use?
Latex and polyfoam. Yeah, and some resin. I have some resin kits down here. Just something out of my head, pretty much, which is kind of messed up. Yeah.
Last convention I saw, he got pictures of everything. So, had a collection of them. So cool. It's from the Blob. I love the Blob, so I was trying to figure out how to make a Blob mask. So. I just started making masks last year. Yeah, so. I'm kind of nervous.
I'm support.
She's my support system. Yeah.
So I do what I can where I can. It's on the inside too. And it's real leather. Real leather stitching.
How long have you been?
I don't do it. He does. That guy behind you. Yeah, he's been doing it for 25, 30 years.
How you doing today? Good?
How are you?
Good.
This one's interesting.
Yeah, this is the artist right there. This is Brian Mahoney right behind. And we're doing this today. He sculpts all these things. He could do one sculpture to 3 sculptures per day, and he says that's all he does. Sculpt.
My biggest one growing up, because I was a late 70s kid, I always wanted to be Christopher Lee Dracula. So, yeah, every year Halloween, that was me, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it was cool because my mom used to do the costuming and stuff.
How long have you been interested in monsters or creatures?
Oh, since I was a kid, since a very young kid. Yeah, Universal monsters were a big influence on me. King Kong and Bride of Frankenstein. Yeah, so.
And then when did you get into making them?
Making monsters? I've been painting and sculpting a little bit as a kid, and over the last 10 years I've been making them. I think the sculpting is one of my favorites, and of course the finished product of the painting. I use Ed's formula of the third, water, latex, house paint, and then I come with other colors, and I also use FW inks like Ed. So.
do like graphic design and that type of stuff? Or where
I'm a
does your-
tattoo artist by day, yeah. But I went to school for graphic design, yeah. So this is my spare time stuff. Oh man, I've been a fan of horror movies since I was a kid. So that came from my mom. So she was a big influence in that area.
That is the town.
We are the tourist attraction.
There's one cat. You can buy coffee with this one resto and get some breakfast and then see the train.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but that's really cool that you all come together.
Yeah, we've been doing it for like 72. It's good to see you here this year. I mean, it's kind of different for everybody. Like, I just kind of like to just take some clay, throw it around, see what shapes I like, and then go from there. Other people, like our buddy Tommy or Reed, they have a specific design in mind, and then they go for that.
I guess I usually try to sketch shapes usually, and then go from there.
So this year, Prudence there, she actually went through and cut out fabric patterns for all of them, and then she laid fabric on top of every single one of them, then we went through and painted over top of them afterwards.
Yeah, so you can see here, like, this whole section, there's no fabric here. This is just painted over. But there's burlap here, and then there's fabric laid on these flat pieces. So
All kinds of like 80s horror movies, 90s cartoons. It all just kind of goes in the head and comes out like a meat grinder.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because this is a very unique design.
Anatomical heart.
How's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
I was
Adam.
I'm Austin. I was told I needed to talk to you because I am a product of Monster Lab. I am a product of Monster Lab. That was my start right there. Yeah. I mean, I used to just like study those videos with a notebook. I was probably like 15 at the time, and that's how I made my first mask, and like that turned into this.
When you first started
the first one
looking?
was the Greeley Gremlin. Yeah, which is like an icon now, so how perfect. But yeah, like seeing a two-part mold being made for the first time, a lot of things clicked right there, for sure. The heart here, yeah, so I really like to just kind of take simple concepts and run with them. And giving it a super stretchable, shiny finish was just kind of the final touch that it needed. Like I've gotten to make masks for like some of my favorite bands and like different celebrities, and like worked on like Hollywood stuff now, which is just incredible. So started with Distortions.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So however we figured out whether Mika says hey. You can cancel on Insta.
This guy's in progress at the moment. Figured I'd bring him along, have something to play with.
Those snippers. I got the ones cutting PVC pipe, like big PVC pipe, and jack it down.
I had to make it down. I was like, all
I was with Light Formations many years ago, and my mother taught the ceramics in our basement, and whenever something broke, which was boom, often, and before it was fired, I'd put it in a plastic bag, crush it up, put some water with it, and I'd have clay. And so clay was my savior and outlet and all of that. And so I would be sculpting stuff for, and of course, love of horror movies. So that's where it started. Yeah, my grandmother had really bad rheumatoid arthritis. So that's the kind of stuff that, you know, I remember.
I make these. Yeah, my name's Dark Ride. So originally I started doing silicone masks, which is my main thing, but then I just had a desire to get into latex because it's what I remember so fondly from my childhood, and I love the more surrealism you can do and the more opaque paint jobs, so
but
decided to go with this.
Yeah, so what got us into doing this was he's an artist, right? And his family was very much like, you have to work 9 to 5. This is what we do. This is how we do it. And I'm like, no, we're free. You're an artist. You do what you want. Then we started watching Making Monsters. And we would watch them, and I'm like, honey, if they can do it, we can do this. Like, they have a massive warehouse. Like, they have everything. We start off small, and as long as we have each other to build off of, we got this. Like, and now we have like this massive basement of a warehouse where we're building our brand, and we've actually been doing it for almost 20 years, but growing little by little. Yeah. And it's about finding the right people for our team. And you guys are an amazing inspiration. I said that, like, like you guys, meeting you guys and seeing you guys, I was like, oh, they're over there. Yeah. Oh my God, I never thought. But no, you guys are an inspiration to us. Like, we push forward.
Yeah, we missed the show, but you know what? Your YouTube channel is awesome.
Yeah.
We enjoy that too.
Absolutely.
And
so
I love your team. I love your team. You
Well,
guys.
you know, when you can have
I mean, this Mask Fest show has just exploded. I mean, it's like, this is bigger. This is the third time I've done it, and it's massive. Like, it keeps growing every year. I love the enthusiasm for monsters and monster making, and it just keeps expanding. I mean, every time I come, it seems like there's more and more people. So this is amazing, and you know, I love being here, part of this community, because you know, it's like the passion is really strong, and just being around everyone's like super cool with each other, and it's like we're one big mask making, monster making family, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
What kind of creatures or monsters inspire you or have over the years?
I mean, I have a wide array of stuff that inspired me since I was a kid. I mean, I grew up on comic books, like horror comics specifically, and creepy and eerie, and you know.
How long have you been making masks?
12 years? Yeah, it's been a while.
These are all silicone, right?
These are silicone, these are latex. This is silicone.
Sorry, you want a demonstration?
In the art basement.
But it's expensive, dude. If you want the full thing, it's like 10 grand. I know, no.
Want me to turn him for you? That's the palooka. He's taking a beating, but he's still standing. And he's still got moxie. This is me at 30. That's me at 30. That's me at 24. And I think I did this, I was like 22 when I sculpted Evil Ed for Evil Dead 2. Yeah. And so it's just, but it was such a different time then. I can't explain it. I mean, just to be around the energy of these things and this thing, and it was such a blast, you know. And everyone, you know, Howard Berger and Greg Nicotero and Bob Kurtzman, Aaron Sims and Mark Shostrom. We all worked in this place in South Pasadena, and it was just kind of great. It was so raw. This one is Glork. He's the Martian from 1959. You know, because I kind of like the idea of the way Martians were portrayed. I mean, and literally Martian, not alien. They're from Mars. This one here, I did for my nephew, who's like 9 years old, and he said, I want to be disturbing for Halloween. And when he turned around, it was like, dun, dun, dun. That would really kind of freak me out. I'd be like, oh, God. Kid, are you okay? You know, when my nephews asked me for masks for Halloween, I thought, oh, yeah, I'll make masks. But I was thinking, there's no way in hell I'm going to base these in rubber cement the way that we used to back in the 80s. Everything got based in rubber cement, and that's how we did it. So I go online and I see Ed talking about his house paint trick, and I went, that seems pretty good. So all these are done the distortion style. I painted them all like he does with distortions, and I just thought that's just the greatest thing. It's the greatest trick. It's not toxic. It's really great. I didn't feel any guilt about putting this on a 9-year-old's head. I was like, so thank you, Ed. Thank you, Marsha. You guys really inspired me. I really appreciate it.
Yay! So it's 2024 Mask Fest, and we brought some stuff. These two are reissues of the original Masters that we found. Rotted corpse.
Yes, but also he tried to paint them exactly like they were to get that look. And this one, the old ones sell for $2,000-$3,000, and this one is like brand new. And you know, I'm painting them and stuff, so they're like original.
Yeah. So anyway, we have the Masters, the original Masters, and so molded those, and just offering, you know. They're not limited, but they're going to be, you know, pretty limited.
Yeah.
Actually. And then this guy is the new Resurrection, sculpted by Jordu. Malpractice.
It's a thing of beauty. Look at this. It's got all sorts of weird contraptions on it.
So Malpractice, the Resurrection series is basically a tribute to the Distortions golden age of masks.
Yeah, now Jordu would consider this Silver Age. Golden Age are these kind of guys. The two masks that Distortions made that really put us on the map was Nightmare 1 and this guy. And this we made way back, I don't know.
83.
Is it 82?
The original Alien. Yeah. Where'd the master
for the first time like 2 weeks ago, and she's just fallen in love with aliens. We watched Predator yesterday, so she's like getting the full dose of awesomeness now.
I don't have a formula to say this much like this. Try it out. Yeah. No, listen.
Lollipops, ice cream, all free today. Come, my little mice. Ice cream, candy, treacle tart.
And they all free.
How long have you been making monsters for?
Professionally, 30 years. 30 years. I'm a special effects creature artist. Oh, zombies, creatures, monsters. Some of the pop culture character icons are fun to make. I like to do my own spin on them. That's why I did like my own version of the Mummy and Frankenstein and a werewolf, the Wolfman. These are casted out of resin and then hand painted. They're backfilled with polyfoam, so they're really light. Normally, the eyes are made by a company called Fourth Seal, and yeah, he helps me out a lot.
Hi, how are you?
I know you from YouTube.
Oh shoot!
And I know you're Marsha's son.
Yeah.
My goodness, we have hat boxes. We have Mr. Bob from Beetlejuice. We have Scooby-Doo inspirations. We have the Mother. We also have pirate plaques over here, and we have Miss Lady in the Lake. And then we also Ed and Marsha are inspiration. Yes. Yes. They Very much so. inspire. Yeah.
How's that? How did you find Distortions, Ed and Marsha?
Making monsters. Yes. Yeah. Just, I tell you, you guys are the best. Really, the best. Every time I don't want to sculpt, I'm like, I'm going to watch Ed and Marsha and Jordu. And I put it on, and there it is. I'm sculpting as I'm listening to them in the background. I'm like,
That's so cool.
So that's my inspiration.
You do all the sculpting, or
Yes.
both? Yeah.
She paints. Yeah, I do the painting and like the herring and the clothing, and she does all the sculpting. Come on, one person can't do it all.
It's a good team.
Yes, yes. So that's it, yeah.
Awesome.
We love you guys. Thank you. She's not saying it for a bit, but she loves you. No, thank you. You know this, I relate. Married to the artist, I'm like, come on. I just think you're, yes, I do. I just get it. That's right. She says, you know, you're just like Ed, she says. And I'm Marsha. I was like, all right. I am Marsha, and I think you're so cool. Marsha. I am. She goes, yeah, you're like Marsha. I'm like, I love Marsha. She's so great.
See? Marsha's calm, and you must not be calm on the show. I don't know.
The brains behind it. I want to meet everybody. I was like, I gotta tell Marsha how much I love her.
The brain. That's right.
She's a brain. Well, I tell her, you're my Marsha.
Yeah.
You guys have no idea how much we quote Making Monsters all the time. And Jordu. Yeah. Yeah, we guys have.
Type of clay were you using?
I always use wet clay. I just like it's faster. The monster clay I like, but it's just it takes a while to get it warmed up to start working with it. So the wet clay, I can just go right to town on it. So I
And
love
don't
it.
you think in your particular style too? I mean, it's got the clay impacts the look.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of known for the grittier look, so it gives me exactly what I want. And
what time of year do you start doing new sculpts for 2025?
Actually, just finished the fish one. That's going to be for this year and next year now. The decayed fish one show.
Awesome. So you're already working on 2025.
I've already got pretty much the list of what I'm going to do for this next year. And usually I start sculpting stuff about November 1st. I'll start right into it. So.
So they're pretty light, and we core them. So he's got some fiberglass in there. He's the same way. It's a lot of fun to do those guys too.
I'm a huge fan of the old school Universal monsters, so like I dive pretty hard into those. Like I just like that feel that they had. Like the original Frankenstein, the Karloff Frankenstein has always been one of my favorites.
Well, this one, the sculpture has been sitting around for probably 5 years, and I finally got around to finishing the sculpt and casting it and painting it. I literally finished it yesterday in the hotel room. Yeah. So I don't have really a name for her, but I'm calling her the emissary to the outer planets. That's all the information I have on her. It's just, I sculpted it, and now she's here.
A lot of Italian horror, nightmares, everyday life.
From your own nightmares?
Yeah, pretty much.
What else did you say before that? Is Italian?
Italian horror.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of these are inspired by Italian horror movies like Anthropophagus, Deep Red.
Jason Schwartzman. And I brought a movie.
This is Marsha, Edmunds' son. It's Adam. This is my friend Mark.
Yeah, well, it's Ed Edmunds.
He's making
Sketch
monsters.
a
Sketch, my goodness. Hello, how are you?
Hello. Oh man, we got
fabulous. We had been giving out MassFest Hall of Fame awards for years, and it occurred to me earlier this year I had never given one to the one guy who deserves it more than anyone. And that's you. So, Jordu,
Oh my God.
you're inducted into the MassFest Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much. It's so great.
Want a sticker? I'll give you a sticker for
Thank you.
making stuff. Appreciate it.
Honestly, I've always drawn, but I've never been that great. And then I've really liked special effects, and I got some clay, played around with it. I was like, this is actually a lot more natural to me than drawing ever was. And within a short amount of time, I watched some Stan Winston videos from Norman over here and a few others, and started cranking away, and it was a lot more natural than I expected. So I love it. First started, I would just go in my studio, turn on Making Monsters, and
and then go to town and be motivated by all the crazy stuff that happens in there, and be like, you know, it's not that bad if my mold broke. Like, they friggin' made it work, so I can keep doing this. That's the cool thing about this art, I think, is like people like Ed and Jordu and Norman, of people that are like so willing to share their secrets. Like, it's not so close to the chest. It's like, let's just get together and make some monsters. And yeah, so I think it's a really cool, welcoming community for sure.
Got you into this particular
I love
material?
scarecrows. Just scarecrows are my favorite, so that's what I started doing.
Yeah. So what materials do you make these out of?
I use burlap, canvas, latex, different kinds of string, scraps of fabric.
Hey, tell me again, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
House paint. Latex house paint.
Yep. So don't use outdoor
So
paint.
indoor latex.
Indoor latex paint. You just pick the color. I want that color. No,
we mix glue in.
Oh,
prosthetic,
wow.
prostate medical
Prostate,
glue.
yeah, yeah.
Boy, it really bites into the latex.
Prostate's wonderful.
But yours is so simple.
It's simple and it bonds really, really well.
I gotta get on TikTok now. Yeah, I can't do it. My mom's into it. I need to get on there.
So if you want to do like an interview with someone, I would ask you to circle back and Chris is
Okay.
He's the art director.
Awesome. I will. I'll get all the close-ups first.
A little bit, little lights and t-shirts and tikis and everything, you know.
Awesome. So what do you have here?
Everything? No. I have one mask, and it happens to be Invasion of the Saucermen, like Distortions has Invasion, but it's my one-off color version. So yeah, I made new mugs this year with monsters and stuff on them, so more regular coffee mugs. And then of course my creepy baby doll mugs on the other side. And then my tikis in between, so I'm the possibly one ceramics guy at a mask convention.
I think probably like a lot of artists my age, it's like what blew their mind when they were between 8 and 12. So a lot of monster stuff. I went, wow, it's amazing. So now I like to draw it. They're all screen prints, and I just make 50 of each one. I get a pencil, I get a piece of paper, I pencil a drawing, then I ink the drawing, and then the digital part comes, I scan it in, and a friend of mine does the actual screen printing, so I have to get the image to him in layers, so I scan my line art, and then I color it. Each color is a different layer, so we can make a different screen for each of the inks.
everything from resin, latex, silicone right on the table. Is that right? Or
Yes, sir.
all the materials?
Yeah, lots of examples here of our products, paints, life casting kits. We had some blood kits, but some people already won those.
Uses the acrylic that's giving us like those alcohol-based pigment colors. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's killer.
Well, I've had practice.
I might be able to figure it out. Here, let me see the card. I think I can manually answer.
That's where it came from. Oh my gosh. You're hardcore, dude.
How you doing? I'm having a really bad day.
I can see that.
Yeah. But hey, Ed makes everything better, you know? When I'm talking to Ed, yeah, I like Ed. He's cool.
And I like you. I'd shake your hand, but
I don't-
apparently
it's
you
in
can't
the
do
bag
that.
here,
Yeah.
That's great. So yeah. So this is my pouch puppet here.